Hello there everyone and welcome back to Let's Play The Lost Vikings. In the last part we've cleared World 2 and now we are in World 3, Ancient Egypt, and the characters are falling out of the sky just like in the beginning of World 2. Now where are we? It looks like the desert. I can see that, Sherlock. I think I'm going to be sick. Okay, so let us go to the right. The password for this level is QCKS. Why is it that? Well, let's try to clear this gap here with Beliok. That didn't work, and now we know why the password is QCKS. It's because there's quicksand here which kills you. And Olaf is waving at the player when he is sinking in the quicksand. That is very cute, basically. And in particular, all the three characters have different animations for when they are sinking into the quicksand. That's all very nice. So let us now, after I quickly demonstrated how this looks like, let us try to do this stage properly. Characters are falling down again and now we can go. Okay, so obviously with Eric you can just jump to the right. Olaf also has an easy solution. He can put his shield up and just glide to the right. But how do you clear this gap with Beliok? When I played this game with my mom as a little kid, it took us a few minutes to figure this out, but if you shoot an arrow here, then one of those coconuts there was shaking, and if you hit it again, then it's falling down. Notice that the quicksand now on the very right is a little bit higher. The graphics basically changed a little bit when that coconut was falling into the quicksand, because you can't fully see the coconut, but instead it got a little bit covered up by an extra piece of quicksand that got basically spawned. So yeah, graphically this looks a little bit more weird. Maybe you can see it better now that there are even two coconuts to the right here, but yeah, that's how it goes. Now let's go to the right and we encounter a new enemy. It's a scorpion. I don't know what kind of attack this is supposed to be. He's attacking with like 3 bullets that he's firing. I don't know if he's getting them out of the dirt or something, if he's digging them up. But yeah, he's firing 3 bullets. And this enemy is a little bit difficult because, look, you can't just defend this guy's attacks with Olaf having his shield out in front. Because as you can see, he can throw these bullets on top of you and still hit you. So yes, you can't just block this guy's attacks by having the shield up on front. You also occasionally have to hold the shield up to block the bullets that are falling on top of you. So how do we deal with this enemy? Well, if he's very close to Olaf like this, then he immediately blocks all the attacks with the shield. And we will use this as our advantage now. Now that the scorpion is doing that he's so close to Olaf, we will quickly go up to him with Beliok and attack with the sword. The sword is quicker than the arrows and we want to attack the enemy while he's still very close to Olaf so that he can block his shots. And there we go. We just went up to him and hit him 3 times with the sword, which was almost to be expected. In World 1, all enemies died in 1 hit. In World 2, all enemies died in 2 hits. So it was kinda to be expected that in World 3, all enemies would die in 3 hits. Eric got a few health items and a bomb on top of the palm trees. Now he even gets a key on top of the palm trees. Only he can access that because it's hovering high above the palm trees. He needs to actually jump to get over there. Bringing down one of the 2 coconuts is enough to be able to clear the gap. And as you can see here, you can also hit the coconuts with the sword. But yes, let us just get all the coconuts down there. There we go. Now let us go with Eric first. There's one more scorpion. Let us try to attack this scorpion from afar. Oh my god. I think we hit him once, that's the 2nd hit. And there we hit him 3 times. Okay, so now the scorpion is dead as well. Then we can use the key that we've previously gotten here to destroy these blocks. And then there's a new enemy approaching us. It's an old Egyptian guy. He's jumping around now, but his artificial intelligence will make sure that he doesn't drop in the quicksand. Whoa. Okay, forget that. That's new. You learn something new in a Let's Play when you just stand there talking and you're trying to explain something. That's very nice. Okay, so this Egyptian guy, well, he didn't really die when he dropped into the quicksand, but I guess that he dropped himself off screen right now. Or maybe he is at the bottom of the screen or something, I don't really know. But yeah, this guy, either way, he disappeared. Okay, that's very nice. Let us also clear these gaps here with Olaf, and now we are, or not now, but now we are not under the sky anymore. We pretty much entered some sort of building. Now, let us go to the right with all the characters here. And let us have Eric go up here now. You can already see the exit here. One more key is all we need to clear the stage. We've gotten a bomb on top of one of those palm trees, and I think you're supposed to use it here. I think it's just a helpful tool to use on these enemies here. We didn't hit any one of them. That's great. Now let me demonstrate something with these enemies, but first let me actually give a healing item to Olaf and bring him to full. Let us try to block those enemies with Olaf's shield. I mean, it looks like this is going well right now. But there, he hit us. Do you see that? He jumped basically between Olaf and his shield, and then he was able to hit Olaf with his spear. So yeah, you can't really defend against these enemies with Olaf's shield because they can jump over Olaf, and then usually they would hit Olaf from behind. But there's a ceiling. Yeah, as you can see, there's a ceiling here that prevents those enemies from jumping as high as they possibly can. If there were no ceiling here in this room, then these enemies would have just jumped over Olaf and stabbed him from behind. So you cannot actually really protect yourself from these enemies with Olaf's shield. So you might as well go up here and try to kill them without Olaf's shield. You're kinda in a shitty position now. Okay, there we go. I just hit them with the sword when they're close, or when they're landing after they're jumping. And yeah, so we've killed 2 of them right now, and we basically didn't even have any problem, not even without being able to block them with Olaf's shield. We are pushing this block here now to make it fall. You need to be careful, you need to make sure that all your characters are at least at this point or even further to the right, because look, I can't push this block anymore. It's because of those little upside down triangles that are to the left and right of that block. They prevent you from further pushing this block. So if you are currently standing to the left of this block rather than to the right, then you have to restart this level because you cannot get past this block anymore, and then you couldn't successfully get to the exit. But yeah, let us be careful now. There's one of those fire shooting things. Remember, the fireballs deal 2 damage, so let us heal with the apple and bring Eric back to 3 health points in case we get hit accidentally. We need to make sure not to fall down onto the block, because this gap would be too high for Eric to jump back out. So yeah, we need to jump over here with Eric to get that key. And there we go. Now we can open the stone wall here. Those 3 stone blocks get destroyed. They kind of look like the gray blocks that Eric can destroy with his ramming attack, but yeah, you cannot actually destroy these ones with the ramming attack. You need the key. And now we have successfully cleared the first level of World 3. Boy, these monsters are getting tough. Don't worry, guys, I'll protect you. You're doomed. Game over, man. Game over. Just like in Aliens, the 1986 movie. Except I didn't really say it that nice. I was kinda thinking, should I say it with Olaf's derpy voice or with something else, and then I just kinda fucked up the voice. Password PRH0. Remember, the zeros are really O's because there are no vowels in the password, so this is really PRHO, which probably means Pharaoh. Let's be honest. Let's explore. Okay, there's now one of those typical gray walls. We will ram it down with Eric, and then we need to immediately make sure that Beliog is ready to kill this Egyptian, which he successfully did. Let us explore further. Okay, and now, I mean, you can think ahead. You could think ahead here, or you could just be, you know, not so clever and just push this button. That's the first time that we see the spike death animation. It looks like this, unexpectedly. It makes this typical child-friendly impaling sound effect when you land onto the spike. And you die instantly, as you do in many games when you land on spikes. Okay, so we killed this guy again. And the way to solve this part is of course to shoot an arrow at this switch rather than to push the button, because otherwise you just fall into the spikes. Those little mini brown blocks got destroyed after pushing the button, or rather they just disappeared. Is there anything to the right of this wall? I don't think so. We will need to block those fireballs here with Olaf. Then we will go first with Beliog again, in case there are these guys. There's a nice little waterfall there that's in the foreground. You can't see the enemies when they are moving along the waterfall, because they are behind the waterfall then, and so are the main characters. The two enemies nicely released 2 tombstones. After all, we are now apparently in a pyramid, and the pyramids were tombstones for their kings, right? Not tombstones, but tombs for the ancient gods back then, right? Not gods, but for the kings who were ruling. Yes. And that's also what I kind of wanted to say, but forgot. Yeah, that building that we entered in the first stage of World 3, you know, World 3.1, that was of course a pyramid. We entered the pyramids. In the first stage of World 3 we were in the desert, but in stages 2 and further up we will be inside a pyramid. That is why I called World 3 Ancient Egypt and not just the desert, because it isn't the desert. We have entered the pyramid right now. And yeah, in this German strategy guide for this game that I had, I believe they called World 3 Ancient Egypt, in fact. So yeah, I didn't just make this up. I do believe that I've read this, that this world is called Ancient Egypt. Okay, so once Beliog and Eric are to the right, we can also move with Olaf, because he doesn't need to block the fireballs for his companions anymore. And we need to make sure that all characters are to the right of those spikes now, because after you destroy those blocks here, the only one who can still cross the spikes from this point on is Eric, because he can jump over them, but the other characters would be doomed if they were too far to the left. So you need to make sure you need to bring all the characters to the right before you press that button. Okay, now we go down again, and again there are those Egyptians, but yeah, they are no problem, even without Olaf, without being able to shield. We can still do this. Okay, we were firing an arrow there and we destroyed one of those brown walls. That was easy. We can jump up with Eric here to grab this health item. Wait a minute. Okay, so this thing respawns. I think it would crush you if you stand below it while that happens. So yeah, you need to make sure that this doesn't in fact happen. What happens if you press this lever? Or lever, I really don't know how to pronounce it. Okay, it creates a bridge that the other two characters can also get past there. It's a very nice slope here, by the way. I don't think we've ever encountered these. I might be wrong though. So yeah, this is a bit weird that this wall here keeps respawning and that you have to keep pushing that button here to always destroy it. I do find that kind of weird. There's a secret here, secret behind the wall. And yeah, these enemies, they do occasionally, yeah, when they make the sound effect, when they are pushing their spear, then they're attacking you, and that's when you can get damage. I think they can't swing their spear in mid-air directly, but I believe, because I think we've seen this 1 minute ago, but I didn't comment on it, I think these guys can attack with their sphere and then they can start to jump. So then they will have an attack going while they are jumping. But yeah, they can't initially attack in mid-air. They always have to stand on the floor first before being able to thrust their spear at you. Okay, yeah. I hope you guys understood what I meant by that. But yeah, we killed this guy now. Okay, let us see. There is definitely one of those medallion items here that gives you the 4th hit point. And now, can we destroy this wall? We can. This was a brown wall, but yeah, this is a secret passage, and this you could basically use this as a shortcut directly to the exit. Again, think about this. I mean, the shield medallion was here. If you make it so far, then that means that you've already killed the enemy that was here. So at this point, there is no more enemy that can kill you. So why even have the shield medallion item here? It's useless at this point, you won't ever need it. There are no enemies ever appearing here, and you can just go to the right and finish the stage. So again, that's a weird design choice. Pointless items, basically. But I mean, let's not complain here. Better have too many items, too many helpful healing items than not enough, right? We're killing 2 Egyptians down here. And I think I remember something. Yep, there's one fire thingy. Oh my god, I need to be careful. Ooh, and there's one more of those. There's a 3rd Egyptian guy. Wow. So there's 3 Egyptian guys, 1 scorpion and 1 fire shooting thing. So you need to be careful as Beliog. Since there were those spear guys, it would have been tempting to just go to the right with Beliog, but that would have been doomed because this fire spitting wall thingy would have killed Beliog if we had done so. Olaf is almost dead. Let us quickly... Whoa! Eat the apple. We barely saved Beliog with Olaf's shield here. Okay, so yeah, this lower part is actually semi-dangerous. But I demonstrated it for you guys anyway. I mean, I could have just finished this stage with the shortcut. Yeah, we have 2 of those medallion items now. Let me demonstrate something with Olaf. Fireball, please shoot. And yeah, I'm not sure if it's the waterfall that makes the fire disappear, because the waterfall is slightly in front of the foreground, really. But yeah, maybe it's the waterfall that actually gets rid of the fireball, or maybe the fireball automatically disappears after it has flown a big enough distance. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's nice to see that anyway. And that marks the end of World 3-2, you know, the second stage of World 2. Oh, what is it with these Egyptians? Their tombs are full of traps! Why can't they just keep their big traps shut? Is this supposed to be funny? I don't know. It reminds me of why can't they keep their big mouths shut, but... yeah, I don't really see the joke here. Okay, but in World 3-3, I will see you guys in the next part.